In the fight for both racial equality and women's rights, few figures stand as tall as Sojourner Truth. Born into slavery in New York around 1797, she would go on to become one of the most influential abolitionists and women's rights activists in American history. After gaining her freedom, she dedicated her life to advocating for the rights of African Americans and women, becoming known for her powerful oratory and unyielding spirit. In 1851, at the Ohio Women's Rights Convention in Akron, Ohio, Sojourner delivered one of the most impactful speeches in history. "Ain't I a woman?" With raw emotion and biting wit, she confronted the intersection of race and gender inequality, challenging both the abolitionist and feminist movements to acknowledge the struggles of Black women. Her words continue to resonate today, reminding us of the strength, resilience, and dignity that women, especially Black women, embody even in the face of overwhelming adversity. And now, here is the full speech delivered by Sojourner Truth herself. "Ain't I a woman?"
Well, children, where there is so much racket, there must be something out of kilter. I think that twixt the Negroes of the South and the women at the North, all talking about rights, the white men will be in a fix pretty soon. But what's all this here talking about? That man over there says that women need to be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches and to have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helps me into carriages or over mud puddles or gives me any best place. And ain't I a woman? Look at my arm. I have plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man could head me. And ain't I a woman? I could work as much and eat as much as a man when I could get it, and bear the lash as well. And ain't I a woman? I have borne 13 children and seen most all sold off to slavery. And when I cried out with my mother's grief, none but Jesus heard me. And ain't I a woman? Then they talk about this thing in the head. What's this they call it? Member of the audience whispers, intellect. That's it, honey. What's that got to do with women's rights or Negroes' rights if my cup won't hold but a pint, and yours holds a quart? Wouldn't you be mean not to let me have my little half measure full? Then that little man in black there, he says women can't have as much rights as men, 'cause Christ wasn't a woman. Where did your Christ come from? From God and a woman. Man had nothing to do with him. If the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the world upside down all alone, these women together ought to be able to turn it back and get it right side up again. And now they is asking to do it, the men better let them. Obliged to you for hearing me, and now old Sojourner ain't got nothing more to say.
Sojourner Truth's words not only shook the conventions of her time, but continue to inspire movements for justice and equality today. Her speech, "Ain't I a Woman?" remains a powerful testament to the resilience of women in the face of systemic oppression and their enduring fight for recognition and rights. Through her voice, Sojourner reminds us that the quest for equality transcends race and gender, and that it is a shared fight for the dignity of all. Let her words remind us of the strength and courage we must carry forward in our struggles for justice. Thank you for listening to Greatest Speeches in History, where we honor the voices that have shaped our world.